Alright, this is Dodge V83. I just updated my EA and I'm going to take you through a few of the new functionality available. So the functionality I added is the ability to have your stop loss dictate your lot size. For example, if I'm taking this trade here off this CBL, my stop loss is going to be like about 70 pips. Whereas over here, if I take it off this CBL, my stop loss is going to be, looks like about 30 pips. So why should I take more risk on this trade than I do on this trade? Simply just because you want to take the same lot size for every trade? That doesn't really make any sense. And I'm sure most of you guys out there already do this calculation in your head when you're making your trade and you change the lot size dynamically. But I just added it into the EA to make it a little easier, and so when you're using a strategy tester to do back testing, it is possible to do this type of trading, because when you're doing back testing you can't go in and dynamically change these options in the middle of a back test. So that's why I coded it into my EA to make it easier for live trading and for back testing. So I'm going to take you through one or two example trades to see how it works. So you see the two new fields I added here are risk in dollars and risk in percent. So here I set the risk in dollars to $1,000. That means if my trade goes south and hits my stop loss, the most, or not the most, how much I will lose is $1,000 right there. That's how much I will lose. If I don't want to use the EA in dollar form, or evaluate my risk in dollar form, I want to do it in percentage of my account balance, you could set this here. If this is set to anything but 0, then it will take precedence over risk in dollars. So if I set this to 2%, then the EA will consider the risk to be 2% and not $1,000. This field will be ignored. For now, I'll just leave this as 0. And for up here, the lots and initial lots fields, they will also be ignored if we're doing this type of trading. So there are two things you need to do in order to use this EA to determine lot size based on your stop loss value. The first thing is you need to set one of these to be a positive number. And the second thing is you need to already have a sell or buy stop loss trend line on the chart before the trade is made. So I can do that now. I make this trend line, change it to sell stop loss, and now it's there. So now what my EA will do is it will detect that we already have a sell stop loss value. So the EA will say, it looks like he already knows what the stop loss is going to be, and he wants me to calculate that into the lot size when I take the trade. So now if I make a trade, SST for sell stop timing, press enter, and it says move this up so the trade is made, it will make the initial lot size variable based on what this is. And you know what, let's move this down based on what it really should be, because there should be a route right there. Now let's move this up so it'll take the trade. As soon as I get a tick here, there we go. So it just took the trade. So you'll notice the size that it took is 10.66. That was the lot size, 10 lots. And the reason it did that is because it detected that at 10.66 lots, if the trade hits the stop loss, which it looks like is about 10 pips away, that will lose $1,000. And that does sound accurate. 10 to 10, 10 times 10,000. It sounds accurate. You do the math and you will see that it's accurate. So the reason why this is important is you have the same amount of risk in both trades, but here you probably have a better chance of making more profit, because even though the amount of risk on this trade versus this trade is the same, over here we did it with 10 lots. So if it moves down a little bit, we'll make a lot more profit. So I'm going to go through this once with a buy order just so you see what it looks like, and that should be it. So again, say I want to buy, I'll make my line, let's make it far away, and I'll make this trend line to be buy stop loss I'll move it way down just for fun. I will then make another trend line just to enter the trade immediately so you see what it looks like. And I'll name this buy, let's do a buy stop timing, BST. So as soon as I get another tick, this trade, oh no, well, let me move this down. Now this trade will hit on the next tick. See, this is why I like doing it with the strategy tester, but I wanted to show you guys what it looks like in normal trading. There we go. It just made the trade, and you'll notice here, since the stop loss was far away, the lot size was only 0.37 pips, or sorry, 0.37 lots. So the EA again calculated that if this goes down 275 pips to hit the stop loss, in order to make sure that that stop loss only takes me out for $1,000, that's the lot size it needs to do. So if we have any questions, you can post it to the forum. Everything else about the EA should be exactly the same, and let me know if you have any problems.